The Constitution may be the most important document in the USA, that and the Declaration of Independence. And yes, there is a big difference between them. The Declaration of Independence makes the USA an independent political entity, basically making them a real country, and the Constitution sets out the structure of government along with the Federalist Papers. The Constitution itself was written in 1787 and is the shortest constitution in the world. It consists of 7 articles and 27 amendments. The last amendment was changing the way that Congress sort out their pay in 1992. The 7 articles set out how the government is allowed to work. The articles being the legislative branch, the executive branch, judicial branch, states' powers, amendments, federal powers, and ratification. The last one is basically that everyone agrees to the rest of the document, basically. Now, the first 3 articles together are known as the separation of powers. Then you also have the checks and balances, which involve the first 3 articles, but is all about how each branch regulate each other and make sure that no one branch ends up with more powers than they should. The amendments are probably the most important part of the Constitution for most people. They give rights to the people. The amendments are, in order, the freedom to religion, speech, press, assembly, and the right to petition the government. This allows you to be whatever religion, say what you want both in person and in the press. You can gather and defend your ideas and beliefs, and you are allowed to question the government. The right to protect yourself. This is a lot of people's favourite amendment as it allows them to have guns, for protection reasons. Soldiers cannot take or live in a person's home. This means that if the army turn up, they are not allowed to take your house from you. You cannot search a property or arrest a person without probable cause. This means they can't just arrest you, they need to think that you've likely committed a crime. Government must follow the law before punishing a person. This means that they can't break the law in order to punish you, they normally just get a warrant. Right to a fair and speedy trial by jury. Basically, if you are arrested, you have to have a jury unless you plead guilty instantly, and it has to be done quickly. They are not allowed to keep you in a holding cell for years. Technically. No cruel and unusual punishments. This protects you from them giving you a longer sentence than everyone else or anything that is considered torture. You are also protected here by many international laws, so don't worry. Any powers that the Constitution does not give the federal government are given to the states. This means if it's not written in the document that the power is given to the federal government, the states get the power. You can't sue the federal courts. Seems pretty basic, but there are actually exceptions to this where you are allowed to sue the federal courts. The president and vice president must be on a party ticket. This means that you will always know beforehand who is going to be the president and the vice when you're voting. Slavery is illegal. Pretty basic. If you're born in the USA, you are a citizen. If you're not, you become a naturalized citizen. All male US citizens have the right to vote. Congress can tax income. This means that it is legal for Congress to take money from you. People elect US senators. This means that there has to be a vote to elect a senator. Again, there are some exceptions to this rule. Alcohol is illegal. This is the start of the Prohibition period. All female US citizens are allowed to vote. Presidential inaugurations are in January. Congress starts to meet here too. After the election in November, the president will always start in January. Always. Alcohol is legal again, but states can make their own laws about it. This is the end of Prohibition. The president isn't allowed to serve more than 2 terms. This stops you having the same president for too long. This came in after Franklin D. Roosevelt served 3 full terms and died in his 4th. The District of Columbia, aka DC, is allowed to vote for the president. It is illegal to charge a voting fee, however there are ways around this. If the president steps down, the VP takes his place. If the VP steps down, the Speaker of the House will take over. The voting age is lowered to 18. Congress must limit how and when they get paid. They are all the amendments. Maybe it is a problem that it takes so long to add an amendment, but maybe it's a good thing. Either way, it takes very long time as 2/3 of Congress must agree on this amendment and 3/4 of the House must also agree. And this is very hard. Also, as the members keep changing so often, it can easily get shut down. The presidency, the Senate, and the House all have different lengths of service. The President serves for 4 years, the Senate serves for 6 years, but it is split into 3 sections. Each member will serve 6 years, but they are staggered so that there is constant rotation every 2 years, as 1/3 of the Senate will change every 2 years. The House serves for 2 years. The Supreme Court is for life on good behaviour. This means if you're misbehaving, you're kicked out. All in all, this makes it very complicated and very slow. Of course, the Constitution is like any old document. Whatever the original intentions were when writing it is open to interpretation. There are 2 main ways of looking at it: originalism and living Constitution. Originalism is simple following it by the letter. This is mainly held by many conservatives. Then the living Constitution is all about interpreting the document to the current situation, like applying it to modern day. That is what the Constitution is all about. If you are interested in reading the actual documents, you can find them online. You can probably find the 85 articles in the Federalist Papers if you really want, but you're going to need some time to read through them all. Alright, make sure you look out for the next video all about the presidency. See you there.